Hello friends, I am Kshitij and in today's lecture I am going to teach you about coal and petroleum part 2. Part 1 will be covered in a separate video. Okay, so before we start, I want to request you all to subscribe to our YouTube channel, our school's YouTube channel, and also to click on the bell icon to receive the future notifications. Okay, so we will start with definition of petroleum. So what does word petroleum means? Okay, so word petroleum comprises of petra and oleum. The word petroleum comprises of petra plus oleum. Petra means rock and oleum means oil. Okay, so what does it mean? Petroleum means rock oil. Yes, it is indeed a rock oil. The petroleum is found between two rocks, two impervious rocks. Okay, so rock oil is a apt word for petroleum. So now the question arises, how is petroleum formed? So petroleum is formed by a long process. So earlier there were some animals in animals and plant, living organism is the more appropriate word. There were living organisms in the ocean. Those died and they settled at the ocean base or ocean bed. So the living organism died and they settled at the ocean bed, and there they got covered by soil and clay. So for many years, for millions of years, they decomposed under the conditions of absence of oxygen and at very high temperature and pressure, and they decomposed to form petroleum. Okay, so now whenever we are talking about petroleum, it will be inappropriate to talk about history of petroleum. So actually somebody may ask what happened in Pennsylvania, USA in 1859. So in Pennsylvania, USA in 1859, first oil well was dug. So petroleum extraction was first started in Pennsylvania, USA in 1859, and it took another 8 years to strike the oil in India. It happened at Makum, Gujarat in 1867. Okay, so it began in USA, Pennsylvania, and it took only 8 years to reach to our country, India. Okay, so now the question arises, where is petroleum found in India? So actually the petroleum is found in India in Assam. Okay, it is also found in Gujarat. Okay, it is also found in Mumbai basin, and petroleum is also found in the river beds of Godavari and Krishna. So that's where petroleum is found in India. So now how does a oil well look alike? So actually oil well has to dug through the earth crust and then impervious rocks to reach the petroleum reserve. So we are digging through the crust, shale, and then impervious rocks to reach the petroleum reserve. And as we know that petroleum is less denser than water, and so is the natural gas. So petroleum will be found floating above the water. The petroleum will be found floating above the water, and natural gas will be found on the top of that. Now question arises, do we need to be careful while extracting petroleum? Answer is yes, we need to be very careful. Why do we need to be very careful? Answer is natural gas is highly inflammable. It is highly inflammable. In fact, natural gas is primarily consist of methane, and methane is a very inflammable fuel. Okay, so we need to be very cautious while well digging. Okay, so now we will talk about refining of petroleum. So basically petroleum is not one thing, it is mixture of the hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons with carbon atoms ranging from carbon atoms number as 1 to carbon number atoms more than 100. Number of carbon atoms in hydrocarbon from 1 to more than 100, that is petroleum. Okay, so whenever we are talking about refining of the petroleum, so refining of the petroleum means to extract the different hydrocarbons, means the lighter hydrocarbon as well as heavier hydrocarbons from petroleum. Petroleum is basically a very complex hydrocarbon, mixture of hydrocarbon. Okay, so we are refining petroleum, it is done by using the distillation. Fractional distillation is the process by which you are doing the refining of the petroleum. Okay, so we will deal with it in our future, in our later slides we will deal with refining of the petroleum. But before that we will study about petrochemicals. So petrochemicals are the useful substances which are derived from petroleum as well as natural gas. Petrochemicals are made from petroleum as well as natural gas. So where are they being used? They are used in manufacture of detergents. They are used in making up the fibers. Which fiber? Nylon fiber is also made with the help of petrochemical. Okay, so now we are also making polythene with the help of petrochemicals, and there are many man-made plastics which are made out of petrochemicals. Petrochemicals are also used in making up the fertilizers. Actually we are using the natural gas. We are using the natural gas to produce hydrogen, and this hydrogen is being used in the manufacture of fertilizer or production of fertilizer. And petroleum is also called as black gold. Why do we call petroleum black gold? So there is a reason for that. Actually there are many countries, especially Gulf countries, where abundance of the petroleum is found. So also there is a conspiracy theory that USA invaded Iraq and Saudi Arabia mostly to gain hold of their petroleum reserves. It is only a conspiracy theory. Okay, so what does it mean? So petroleum is nothing but energy, and whoever is going to control the energy will be the winner. In fact, one of a famous company known as Saudi Aramco. Okay, so that company is in fact having very high revenue, and that is dealing with petroleum and petroleum products. Okay, so you know petroleum is going to make people rich. Okay, so petroleum is called as black gold with a reason. Petroleum is called as black gold. Okay, black, it is black in color, and it is highly obnoxious in smell. Petroleum is highly obnoxious in smell. Okay, you cannot, it is thick, black and obnoxious in smell. In fact it reeks. Okay, so now we will study fractional distillation. So what do you mean by fractional distillation? You are separating different fractions or constituents from the crude oil. So as we know that a crude oil consists of many hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons with number of carbons ranging from 1 to 100. Many hydrocarbons with number of carbons ranging from 1 to more than 100. So as the number of carbon is a hydrocarbon increases, okay, so its temperature at which it is going to evaporate, it also going to be increases. Means heavier isotopes, the heavier hydrocarbons are going to evaporate at higher temperature than at the lighter hydrocarbons. Okay, so we are going to heat the crude oil at 400 degrees centigrade, and we are going to pass it through the fractional tower. So there, depending upon their boiling point of different hydrocarbons, they are going to be separated at different fractions. At the bottom you will find lubricating oil or paraffin wax or asphalt, and the gas will go out at 20 degrees centigrade. Okay, we are going to have from top to bottom, we are going to have gas, then we are going to have gasoline or petrol, then we are going to have kerosene, then we are going to have diesel oil, then fuel oil. So actually what does gas means? Gas is containing hydrocarbons with number of carbon atoms from 1 to 4, and gas is going to be separated, the fraction is going to be separated at 20 degrees centigrade. Then comes gasoline or petrol. So gasoline or petrol is having hydrocarbons with number of carbons from 4 to 10. Okay, 4 to 10 number of carbons in the hydrocarbon from 4 to 10. And then comes kerosene. In kerosene, number of carbon atoms in hydrocarbons are from 10 to 16. And then comes diesel oil and other constituents. So these are having very high numbers of carbon atoms in their hydrocarbon structure. Okay, so they are also called fractions. These different constituents are called fractions. Okay, so now we are going to talk about constituents of petroleum. Okay, so petroleum is the mixture of hydrocarbons, and during the fractional distillation we are going to separate different constituents of petroleum. So what are the different constituents of petroleum? Petroleum gas or LPG. Okay, so petroleum gas or LPG, it is liquefied petroleum gas. Okay, so it is getting separated at 20 degrees centigrade. It is having number of carbons from 1 to 4. Okay, so it is lighter than other constituents, and petroleum gas is finding its use in home and in industries also. And then comes petrol. Okay, petrol is also called as gasoline. Okay, so what is the function of petrol in our day-to-day life? It is used in motor vehicles. Okay, and apart from that, petrol is also used in dry cleaning purpose. Petrol is also being used in dry cleaning purpose. Then comes, petrol is also used as an aviation fuel. Petrol is also an aviation fuel. Then comes kerosene. Okay, kerosene is used in stoves and other places as the domestic fuel, and kerosene is also used in jet engines. In jet engines we are going to use kerosene. Then comes diesel. Okay, diesel is used in heavy motor vehicles. Diesel is used in heavy motor vehicles like tractor, truck, okay, buses. There we are going to use diesel in heavy motor vehicles. And diesel is also used in electric generators. Electric generators we are going to use diesel. Then comes lubricating oil. Lubricating oil, as the name suggests, lubricating oil is going to lubricate the plant machinery. Means to reduce the friction we are using the lubricating oil. To reduce the friction we are going to use the lubricating oil. Okay, then comes paraffin wax. Paraffin wax is a higher order hydrocarbon, and paraffin wax is being used to make candles. Paraffin wax is being used to make the ointments, and paraffin wax is also being used to make the vaselines. And then comes bitumen. So earlier we were using the coal tar for making the roads. Now bitumen has replaced the coal tar in making the roads. So road surfacing we are using the bitumen. Okay, so in fact coal tar was very obnoxious in odor. Coal tar was very obnoxious. Okay, and it was carcinogenic also. So bitumen is a more safer and better alternative to coal tar, and bitumen is also used in paints. It is also being used in making up the paints. Okay, so now we will move to natural gas. So what does natural gas comprises of? Natural gas comprises of methane, propane and butane. Okay, natural gas is an excellent fuel and it is pollution free. Natural gas is pollution free, and it can be transported from one place to another by using natural gas pipeline. Okay, so how we are going to store the natural gas? We are going to store the natural gas with the help of in the form of CNG. Okay, at high pressure we are going to compress the natural gas and we are going to store it. CNG stands for compressed natural gas. Okay, so now the question arises, where do CNG pipelines exist in India? So basically you will find the CNG pipelines in India in Barodara, Gujarat, and in some places in Delhi you will find CNG pipelines. So now somebody may ask, where are the natural gas reserves found in India? So natural gas reserves in India will be found in Tripura, they will be found in Rajasthan, they will be found in Maharashtra, they will be found in the basins of Krishna, Godavari. Okay, so there you are going to find the natural gas reserves in India. Okay, so now where we are going to make use of the natural gas, apart from home and industrial uses, we are going to use it in making up the fertilizers. Okay, we are going to separate the hydrogen from the natural gas and we will use that in making some excellent fertilizers. Also other places in medicines also we are going to make use of the natural gas directly or indirectly. Okay, so now we are going to study some natural resources are limited. Okay, so as we know that there was a very famous economist named Thales. There was a very famous economist. Okay, he gave one principle. He told that our population will increase or increases in geometrical progressive manner, like 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 and so on. Malthus was the economist. Malthus told our population increases in geometrically progressive manner and our resources to satisfy them increases in arithmetically progressive manner, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is going to be scarcity. Why there is going to be scarcity? Natural resources are limited in nature. So Malthus told we need to curb our consumption. We need to be more prudent so that our coming generation is not going to blame us. Blame for what? For non-sustainability. We need to do sustainable consumption and we have to replenish the resources wherever possible. Okay, so we need to replenish the resources. As population is increasing, demand is also increasing. More industries are made, more fuel is consumed in transporting, more fuel is consumed in storage and so on. So more fuel is consumed with bit outburst in population. Okay, so now one question arises, can coal, petroleum and natural gas be prepared in the laboratory from dead any organism? Answer is no. Why it cannot be prepared? Because the production of coal, petroleum and natural gas takes millions of years. Okay, and it is going to happen at high temperature and high pressure. It is very difficult to simulate this condition, and even if the conditions can be simulated, then also it is going to take millions of years. The transformation is not that easy. It takes millions of years to transform dead animals in the ocean bed into petroleum. Okay, so now fuel burning and global warming. So we are going to burn the fuel. So there is a phenomenon known as global warming. Global warming means heating up of the earth atmosphere by trapping up of the infrared rays of the sun by the upper layer of the atmosphere. Actually, there are many gases known as the greenhouse gases. One of the most prominent greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide and methane. So as we are going to burn the fuel, so fuel are going to emit carbon dioxide and methane. So that carbon dioxide and methane is going to cause the global warming. So the atmosphere will heat, and when the atmosphere will heat, there will be many repercussions of that. There will be many repercussions of that. Like polar ice will melt, sea level will rise, and many things will happen. So we are not going to discuss them in detail. Okay, so we need to conserve the fuel. So now the next and last topic is Petroleum Conservation Research Association has issued some guidelines to save petrol diesel while driving. So we need to save the petrol diesel. Why? They are the non-renewable sources of energy. How we are going to save the petrol and diesel? So we are going to save the petrol and diesel by using some guidelines. Some guidelines are like this. Okay, first guideline is that always drive at a moderate rate. Don't drive too fast, don't drive too slow. Drive at a moderate rate. At that rate, the engine will give the best possible mileage. Okay, second thing is that whenever you are at a red light or you are stuck in traffic, please switch off the engine. It is not going to take too much time to switch it on again with mere push of your finger or thumb. All the vehicles are having auto start nowadays. Okay, so always switch off the engine. Okay, so and another point is, third point is that always check the air of the tires. When there is proper air in the tire of your vehicle, it is going to consume less fuel. Okay, and fourth point is that always go for the periodic maintenance of your vehicle. Always go for the periodic maintenance of your vehicle, so that mileage should be as much high as possible. So these are the 4 guidelines issued by PCRA, Petroleum Conservation Research Association. So this is all for today. Thanks for your patient listening. See you soon in our next video.